Okay, last night I came out here and I poured the bottom of the furnace. Well, I didn't really pour it, I packed it. You see I have a drain down there, it goes all the way through. Get some light where you can see it. So it goes all the way through. I made it with this. I just took a couple of PVC pipes, one smaller than the other. I think one's half and one's 3/4. And put them in there and removed them before it got too hard. This isn't set up yet. It's going to take a few days for it to set up. It's firm on top, but it's still soft in the middle. I had it covered. I made a whole bunch and didn't use it, so all this is going to waste. I'm kind of mad at myself. I was going to do the lid, but I didn't have it ready. So I'm going to work on the lid today. I got to put a center part in it, and I got to weld some rods in there to hold the refractory in. The mixture is 2 parts sand, 2 parts fire clay, to 1.5 parts Portland and 1.5 parts perlite. I think. Yeah, that's right. Alright, it's been a few days and been working on the top. I've got these pieces of rebar welded in here to help hold refractory in. I've also put this piece of metal pipe in the middle to give me a flue. And I know it's metal, it's going to be heat transfer and all that, but I don't think it's going to get hot enough to melt, because I'm actually thinking about making a crucible out of some of this stuff. I'm not 100% sure yet, still thinking on it, but if I can weld it, I'll do it. But anyway, I welded that in place just so I have something for the middle of the lid there. I still got some gaps along the edge here. I think I'm gonna just tape them off and pack the refractory in there, make it kind of thick. And I need to grind it down. I haven't grinded it down yet, but that's pretty heavy. I still need to weld the handles on. I got some rebar right there that I'm just gonna like tack on the side here and make me a handle, and that way I can pick it up, take it off the furnace whenever I get done. That's my little Harbor Freight welder. That's what I'm using. It ain't good for much, but it's working for me right now, so let's don't knock it. I didn't cut this pipe even, so I'm going to grind this off where it's not sharp as well. But yeah, I think that'll hold the refractory in there just fine. So let me get it cleaned up and weld the handles on it, and then I'll work on packing the refractory in there. Okay, these are the pieces that I'm going to use to make my handles with. While I was cleaning up the hole, I went ahead and cleaned up some areas where I could weld these to it. Yeah, I know it's nothing but old rebar, and I didn't cut 45s or anything. But like I said before, I'm not going to keep this forever. I don't plan on using it heavily, so this will do me just fine. And I'm going to weld these together on there so I can have handles on each side where I can lift this heavy thing up once I pack it with refractory. And we will be back. Alright, there's one handle. Should hold. Sloppy welding, I'll grind it down, it'll be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side off camera. Alright, I'm as done with this thing as I'm gonna get, except for packing it with refractory. I got the handles welded on. I tried to round the corners off as much as I could, so if I hit it with my knee, I don't cry a whole bunch. Ground this edge off here, and got that as smooth as I could. I'm not worried about too much because, like I said, that's thin. Burner hole in the side of this, just above the refractory, and that way I can go ahead and get ready to pack the sides with refractory. I've got this pipe here. I'm going to use that for the center. I'm just going to sit that down inside of there and pack refractory around it, and then when I'm done I can just unsnap that seam and take it out. I hope that works well. If not, we'll get it out. But yeah, that's the bottom. I got a vent hole down in there, I mean a drain hole down in there and everything. Just got it covered, letting it sit there and cure up. This is the pipe I use for the middle of the top. Got it from the scrap yard. I think it's like a 4-inch pipe. It was $6 for 4 foot, about 4 foot. And I just took my chop saw and I put a fiber blade on there for cutting steel and masonry. And it took a minute, but it got through it. I got other plans for the rest of that pipe. This is what I was telling you I was thinking about making a crucible out of. Just cut me a section however high I want it. And weld a piece of plate to the bottom. And ta-da! So, on to the next step. Alright everybody, I went and cut the hole in the side of the furnace here, and you can see it's about 1/2 inch from the bottom. And I've cut this piece of pipe here, and I'm going to angle it kind of like that right there, so that when I stick my blower in there, my burner in there, it'll sit right in here and go straight into the furnace. Now, something I thought about last night before welding this. I didn't weld it last night, thank goodness, because when I go to pack the refractory, I'm going to need something to keep the hole open. So I'm going to have to use the longer piece of pipe that I cut this from to put it through. It's got to go through at an angle. So I'm going to have to make the hole a little more oblong, but I need this to come through somewhere about 2 inches or so, 2.5 inches. Like that. So that I can pack the refractory in there. So I can't just shove the pipe in there and weld it. Okay, we're going to measure out the ingredients for the refractory. Last time I used a gallon bucket and was way too much. This time I'm just going to use this old yellow bowl from the Dollar Tree. It's actually orange, but I'm going to we need, I don't know what you call it, units. We need 2 units of fire clay, 2 units of sand, 1.5 units of Portland and vermiculite. So I'm going to start with 2 and 1.5 of this. Let's see how far that gets me, and we'll go from there. Alright, there's all the ingredients in the bucket. I haven't mixed it up yet. I think that might be enough. That was 2 of these bowls that I got from the Dollar Tree. This is melamine, made in China. They don't work very well in the microwave, they crack and stuff. But anyway, put 2 of these of fire clay, 2 of these of sand, 1.5 of Portland cement, and 1.5 of perlite. And I'm using Garden Variety Perlite Miracle Grow. And this is just regular old Portland cement. It's got lumps in it, so I've been filtering it out with a colander. And this is the fire clay. This is ground up fire clay. I'm not sure why it's ground up fire clay, but it comes from Ohio. 50-pound bag cost me $20. I think a bag of this costs like $5. Bag of sand's $5. Bag of perlite's about $4. And got yourself a, and that fire clay goes a long way. I've made 3 furnaces with that fire clay, counting this one. So yeah, and that bag of Portland, I haven't even used a third of it yet. I've gone through, I've used this for other things, but I've gone through probably 3 bags of perlite, but they're only $4. So I'm gonna mix this up dry, and then I'm gonna slowly add water to it to get the right mixture for it. And it's been raining today, so I'm gonna pack it out there on the workbench, and then I'll bring it back up over here on the porch so that I can cover it up. I'm gonna put it in a trash bag, cover it up, and let it cure for 3 or 4 days. And then we'll proceed with the inner workings of the furnace. Let me mix this up. It took twice as much as what I had in that bucket. I had to mix up another batch and use all that I had to fill this in. So I'm definitely gonna have to get more fire clay. Might as well get more of everything because I'm out of sand, perlite, and fire clay. And that bag of Portland is lumpy, and I don't want to sit there and sift through the whole thing. So we're gonna stick this on the porch and cover it up, and we're gonna call it a day. And then later on, when we get more, we'll have to build up the walls, put a pipe in here where we want it, build up the walls, and then we'll weld this piece in afterwards. We'll pull whatever pipe out of there we use and then weld that in there, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. Much more I can do out here today, and it's raining. So we'll call this part 2. Part 3 will be finishing it up and curing it.